Hello, guys and girls. My name is Chrissy. I'm here to do a quick review of the beta for the Ghost Recon Future Soldier. Now, let's get into this. Quick mention: this is a gameplay. I'm not gonna be going into loads of different kind of gameplays and things and bringing you out um, things that represent what I'm talking about. I don't really have the time to do that, and I'm quite busy right now anyway. So, sorry, it's just a straight up gameplay. This was quite a good gameplay. I think I did quite well. But I want to talk about the game itself, and I'll start with my experiences with it so far, and then get on to my actual view on certain things. So I got the beta technically for free for because of this thing that happened. It's a long story, and I'll probably tell it some other time. But yeah, I got it for free, and I got in, and I played a few matches, and honestly, at first glance, I really didn't like it. I was just having a horrible time. I was just getting spawn trapped and things like that, and I'll get onto a lot of those later as well. But yeah, I got it. I was having a horrible time. A lot of the time I was playing by myself, not with anybody else at all. So because of that, I was getting into matches where people were a lot more experienced than me, people were doing a lot better than me, and people had better equipment, which is something I'm highly against in games, which is giving people better equipment and more powerful stuff just for being a higher level. I'm all for giving people more diverse items, things that allow you to do different things, but don't give a guy a bigger, more powerful gun just because he's been playing a game longer than another guy. Give a guy a different gun. Give a guy a gun that allows him to do something different, rather than giving him something that allows him to just absolutely dominate the match. And I'm not necessarily talking directly about a gun. There's a lot of different things that you get in this game. For example, you get a UAV at level 4 or something, which is man controlled. Basically, if you go around in this UAV and you fly around and you look at someone, a massive kind of red outline or silhouette, yeah, silhouette is probably the right word to use. A red silhouette appears all the way across the map for anybody on your team to see, and if you don't have anything like that on your team, you're at a massive disadvantage because they know exactly where you are. They can tell exactly what you're doing. It's not like Call of Duty where a little red dot shows up. They can see where you're looking. They can see what gun you have. Well, I'm not sure about that, but yeah, that's a problem. But I'll get more into that in a second. But yeah, so my experiences. The first few days I played it, I hated it, and I pretty much gave it up until I think it was a few days ago, I met a guy who is now a friend, and he was like, oh yeah, do you have the Ghost Recon Future Soldier beta? And I was like, oh yeah. So we went on it, and as we went on it, I actually started enjoying myself, and started enjoying the game, and this is actually that gameplay now, with my friend. And the thing is, I noticed because of this, I started having a really good time. But the problem with that is, if I'm having a really good time now just because I'm playing with a friend, does that mean that I have to be playing with a friend or a good teammate or things like that just to be able to enjoy myself? Because the problem there is, if you're by yourself 60, 70, 80% of the time, then you're not going to enjoy this game. Plain and simple. And the fact is, it's less the fact that you're by yourself, but more the fact that if you're in an unbalanced game, i.e., the other one team is better than the other, and one team's getting dominated while the other team's just kind of trolling around, poning the noobs and stuff, you're not going to have a good time, because the team that's trolling around, or the team that's dominating, isn't going to have a good time because they're not having any challenge. They're just running straight through, getting easy kills, and half the time it's going to be one or two players who's getting all the kills, while the other 6 players aren't getting any at all. And you get a lot of spawn trapping in this game, and that's a big problem for me, because spawn trapping is a ridiculously stupid thing. No one should be trapped in, or no one should be disallowed to play for something that happened prior to the current fight. So let's say you lost a fight before, and this is a problem with Gears of War. For those of you who watch me for my Gears of War content, this is a problem with Gears of War as well. You can just set up outside someone's spawn and trap them in, and no one should be forced to lose like 9 minutes worth of a match just because they died in the first minute or so and the other team just ran outside and camped. And that's another thing. It is very easy to camp in this game because of two things. One, the cover system allows you to pop up and get easy kills, and two, the actual health system means that you have very little health indeed. The rifleman, a lot of the rifle classes, I find that you can get like single shot kills with a rifle. That's an AK-47 or an LMG or anything like that. You can get insta kills, one shot to the chest, head, around that area, and it's very easy to just pop up, like spray around and get that one shot in and get an easy kill. So that means you can camp a lot, and if you're camping outside someone's spawn, they've got to run out there and come at you. And obviously the thing is, you don't have spawn protection, and I'm against spawn protection as well, because you shouldn't be accidentally like moving towards an objective, someone runs out of their spawn and there's no way you can kill them. So you need to find some different kind of fix for that. You need to not just create a back area that's cut off from the rest of the map, which you can't enter, because that's what they've done. They've done like a tiny little area at the back of the map where people spawn. But the thing is, there's usually only like 1 or 2 ways out of that area. So they have to just camp on the other side of that bridge or the other side of that hallway, and bam, as soon as you come out, you get shot in the face. And you're not invincible in that area either. It just means that the enemies can't go inside it. So that's a big problem for me. Let me think. The cover system, I want to talk about that as well. Once again, coming from a Gears of War player where the cover system has been perfected over 7 years of game development, when you have such a perfect cover system like Gears of War, coming into this, it's just not that great. Because the thing they've done is, in Gears of War, for example, you look left, you look right, whatever happens, you just do what you tell your character to do. That's the straight up thing. When you're in this cover system, if you try to turn to the right so you can get just that tiny little angle on someone, or that shot you need, your character also moves slightly to the right as well. This is what I hate. I hate it if a character moves when you just want him to turn right or to turn left or something like that. And another thing is, when you poke around a corner, you can't stay poked around the corner unless you're holding the stick. And that's a big problem in so many ways. First off, if you want to stay poked around the corner so you can get a quick kill on someone, you have to hold the stick down. But let's say you're holding the stick down, then you've got to hold the left trigger, then you've got to hold the right trigger, then you've got to move the right stick around at the same time. You're doing quite a lot of things there, and it can become a little bit confusing, and it's not really a skill to be able to do that. It's just a slightly more functional brain or something, I don't know. But yeah, that's the first problem with it. And the second problem, if you have to hold, and you have to hold your stick all the way as well. You can't just move it slightly to the right or something. You have to hold the stick all the way. And if I want to move to cover, like I'm about to now, I think I'm watching this. There you go. You hold down A to sprint to a piece of cover, but a lot of the time, if you're moving from cover to cover, sometimes you can only see one point to run to if you're poking your head out, and you're moving around, you're trying to find the perfect thing to move to, and let's say you look at something, you press A to move to that, but you haven't got your head poked out like you wanted because you weren't holding the stick at the time or something like that. You then have to climb over the cover instead, which takes 2 to 3 times the amount of time it would take just to run around the corner. So that's a big problem. Here's another thing. You see that guy run straight past all through, like through all of my shots. You can see he's bleeding. You can see he's getting hit, but he runs through all of it, and that I don't understand that. He's sponging or something, but yeah. I'm just trying to think about a lot of other things. There's not a lot I can cover in just 10 minutes or 12 minutes or however long this is. But yeah, that's a lot of the problems I have with this game. For the positives, I do like the gunsmith system, although I don't feel that it does enough. It gives you a lot of variety, but it doesn't have a lot of functionality. Like, let's say, if you have the shot system, so you can set it so it shoots 3 burst, or full auto, or semi-auto. The problem with that is, yeah, it's great. You can select what your rate of fire is, and not a lot of guns or not a lot of games do that. But you can just do that. You can set it to full auto, or set it to do whatever you tell the trigger to do. So if you're tapping, it shoots it one by one. But yeah, that's the problem. If you have full auto, you can also do semi-auto and burst fire simply by tapping the trigger at that rate. So it becomes redundant and unnecessary, and there's no point in it. And there's a lot of other things like the small changes. The small changes, like you get a new stock on the back of your gun, and it shoots, or the recoil is less. Now, that's great and all, but a lot of the time when you're shooting across the map, it doesn't matter. If you're spraying, you're spraying. Just because it goes up like a millimeter less each second or so doesn't make a lot of difference. That's just the problem. The only thing that I found a use for is the flash hider, because when you're shooting your gun, you get a lot of flash. Like, it covers up about 2/3 of your screen, the flash of the gun, which is a massive problem, and I hate that, and that's the only thing that I found a real use for. Obviously, the silencer, you've got things like that, and I've never found that they really have a big use in games, because they always have a drawback to them. They always have a massive drawback. Like Call of Duty games, they draw back a lot of your gun's power and range, so basically you're shooting someone 3 times as much. And it doesn't really make a lot of difference, because even if it's silenced or not, you're still gonna be able to hear them if they're in a 3-foot, or if they're in something like a 12-foot radius. And oh my god, the gameplay's over already. But yeah, those are my problems with the game. I don't really have a lot of positives, but play the game. I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to personally buy it, but if you're into these kind of games and you really, really like your Ghost Recon, then by all means buy it and have a lot of time. You'll have a good time with it. There's no doubt. But anyway, thank you for watching, guys. You're probably looking at a black screen right now, but ran a little over. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.